Hello friends, welcome to module 2 of our workshop series on software testing. In the last module, we emphasized on skills rather than degrees or colleges, studied the testing industry context, requirements, trends. We mentioned various tools. We talked about the mantras of career success and the ground rules like hard work, daily routine, focus, timely and satisfactory completion of assignments, attention to details, positive attitude, collaboration, self-exploration, and organizational alignment that will guide us to success. We start this session with a quote on positive attitude. It is, "A little ability combined with a positive attitude often goes farther than a great talent dimmed with a negative viewpoint." One example we can cite is the success of Indian team in the 1983 One-Day Cricket World Cup. Team was not considered as favorite by anyone. West Indies, Australia, England were all miles ahead in terms of track record. Even we Indians did not expect our team to emerge as the champion. But Kapil Dev led India, proved their mettle with a never say die attitude, displayed unwavering determination, and won the cup. We need to remember the importance of determination and positive attitude throughout our life. In the last module, we talked about problem-based learning and how it helps us in enhancing our skills. In most cases, our problems are common interview questions in the area of testing. But before we delve into solving problems, we learned some time-tested problem-solving skills and various other soft skills that are expected of a good tester. But why soft skills for a tester is needed in AI age? AI is transforming the job situation. McKinsey report suggests that around 40 crores jobs may get lost to AI by 2035. As AI starts to reshape the workforce, research by Letian Zhang, and Harvard Business School researcher, shows that mastering soft skills like communication and critical thinking may be even more crucial than technical know-how in AI age. Taking cues from his research, we created this module focusing on soft skills important for success in career. We will deal with time management, task management, communication, teamwork, adaptability, customer focus, and problem solving. Among soft skills, we start with time management. In time management, we'll cover multiple techniques. First one is Eisenhower matrix, which indicates us how to prioritize a task and what course of actions to adopt for each priority. For this, we divide tasks based on importance and urgency. So priority is a function of importance and urgency. Tasks that are neither important nor urgent are to be avoided. One example is OTT renewal alert. OTT subscription is harmful for freshers pursuing training, hence should be avoided. Next, tasks that are urgent but not important should be delegated to someone if that option is available. Example, asking a family member to shop for daily grocery items. Without grocery, cooking is not possible, but buying grocery does not require our specific skill set. For tasks that are important but not urgent, we need to decide what needs to be done about it. Example, payment of electricity bill due after 10 days. For tasks that are important and urgent, we need to immediately focus our attention. Example, attending a job interview this week needs solid preparation and focused attention. So using Eisenhower matrix, we can basically prioritize activities and then decide on what course of action we should be taking for each priority type. Another technique we follow in time management is leads, where we list activities, estimate duration of each activity, allocate priorities for each activity, develop a schedule of activities, and then scan the schedule regularly to control any variance and add any urgent activity if needed. Example, you are preparing for the testing workshop and suddenly you learn that your mother feels jitty and requires some medicine urgently. So you go out and buy it from the nearest shop and give it to her as up so that she feels little better. Then as usual, you go back to your studies. In the next slide, we talk about Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro technique is more about how to carry out a specific task. Once the list of tasks is prioritized with duration, a schedule is developed, we carry out the task at hand. While doing so, we can follow Pomodoro technique to make sure that our attention span is used optimally and the desired outcome is achieved. What we do here, we select a single task to focus on, we set a timer and work continuously for 25 minutes. Take a productive 5 minutes break after this 25 minutes session, and then we repeat for 4 rounds. So after we have completed the 4 rounds, we take a longer break for 30 minutes and then repeat the whole exercise. So this is about Pomodoro technique, where we can use our attention span, concentration, etc. to optimize the performance of a task. Thank you. After time management, let us focus on task management. Everything we do in life can be considered tasks. So task management is life management. We start with 5W and 1H framework, sometimes jokingly called 5 wives and 1 husband framework for easy remembering. The framework starts with why. So what smart objectives drive the task? Why the task is needed now? This has bearing on the deliverables, what are to be produced, and the relevant quality attributes. Next is what. What aspects of a task management include scope, plan, quality standards, what cost or budget or effort are required, what deliverables and risks and probable mitigation measures we need to consider. Next is when, that is schedule. Next is where, that are where aspect means locations, environment. It might be the test environment, etc. Who, who means the stakeholders or resources who will do the task, and stakeholders whose input may be needed. And how, very important, how is the process, the how this task needs to be carried out. Effectively managing a task to achieve quality, meet deadlines, and stay within budget requires a combination of careful planning, time management, proactive monitoring, cost management, quality management, and effective communication. Prioritizing tasks, establishing clear objectives, and applying tools and techniques efficiently are crucial steps. Regularly tracking progress, identifying potential issues early, and making necessary adjustments are key to staying on course. In the coming slides, we'll cover few details in each area of task management. We deliberately exclude cost management, which includes budgeting, cost tracking, cost reporting, and cost control, which are more relevant for managerial roles. First aspect of task management is planning and definition. In planning and definition stage, we define clear objectives. That is, we need to establish specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. All that is called SMART. SMART goals for the task. Next, we need to define scope. We need to clearly outline the task's boundaries, exclusions, and requirements to avoid scope creep. We need to create a detailed plan. We need to develop a comprehensive schedule that includes realistic timelines, resource allocation, and cost estimations. We need to identify critical path. That means we need to determine the most crucial tasks that directly impact the task's timeline. We need to establish quality standards. We need to define clear quality expectations for the deliverables of the task. Next aspect is time management, where we need to prioritize tasks, focus on the most important task first, and allocate time accordingly. We need to break down large tasks into smaller, manageable chunks to improve focus and reduce overwhelming challenges. We need to set realistic deadlines. We need to ensure deadlines are achievable and allow for some flexibility. We need to track progress, regularly monitor progress against the schedule, and identify potential delays early. We need to adjust the schedule. We need to make necessary adjustments to the schedule if delays occur, ensuring the project stays on track. Next is quality management. As part of quality management, we define quality standards. We ensure everyone involved understands and agrees on the quality standards. We need to monitor quality throughout. We need to regularly check the quality of work against the defined standards. We need to implement quality control measures. We use techniques like reviews, testing, and inspections to identify and correct defects early. We need to continuously improve. We identify areas for improvement and implement changes to enhance quality. Last and finally, the most important part is communication and collaboration. We need to have open communication. That means we need to maintain open and transparent communication with all stakeholders. We need to have regular and timely updates, provide updates on progress, potential issues, and any changes to the plan. We need to have stakeholder engagement throughout the process to manage expectations and ensure alignment. We need to foster collaborative environment where team members can share ideas and work together effectively. We'll cover communication and collaboration separately in coming slides as they are very essential soft skills in today's times. In this slide, we'll talk about communication skill. We'll talk about six very important elements of communication skill, that is listening, friendliness, open-mindedness, feedback, confidence, and non-verbal communication. Remember that face-to-face meetings are the most effective. Now, let us go through each element. See, communication starts with active listening so that response can be appropriate. Active listening involves paying close attention to what the other person is saying, asking clarifying questions, and rephrasing what the person says to ensure understanding. Through a friendly, respectful tone and a smiling face, we encourage our team members to engage in open and honest communication with us. Using phrases as simple as "I understand where you are coming from" demonstrates that we have been listening to the other person, we are showing empathy and respecting their opinions. A good communicator should enter into a conversation with a flexible, open mind. Be open to listening to and understanding the other person's point of view rather than simply getting your message across. Being able to give and receive feedback appropriately is an important communication skill. And confidence shows our team members that we believe in what we are saying and will follow through. As part of non-verbal communication, body language, eye contact, hand gestures, and tone of voice all color the message we try to convey. We need to pay close attention to this as it affects 55% of communication. This is an important slide that shows the application of different forms of communication in different situations. Forms may be written or oral, formal, following a structure or template, or informal with free-flowing message. In all forms, we need to appear as collaborative, polite, respectful, yet firm and assertive. Now, let us look at each one of them. Written formal communication is precise and should be transmitted through the medium of correspondence. Some examples: project charter, scope statement, project plan, work breakdowns, structure, project status, complex issues, contract related communications. And written informal, these are emails, various memos, letters, regular communication with team members. Oral formal, this includes high degree of flexibility. Use the medium of personal contact, group meetings, or telephone. Now, all oral communication will have some flexible and some kind of informal or formal type of communication where things are not uh, very clearly recorded. So this may include presentations, speeches, that is the formal part of the oral communication, negotiations, conflict resolution, and informal part may include conversation with team members, project meetings where some side talks may happen, or some discussions also could be considered as informal oral communication. Non-verbal communication, this is, as I have told you earlier, it is about 55% of the total communication, which includes facial expressions, hand movements, tone of voice while speaking, etc. Well, this is a classic example of complicating communication. On LinkedIn, someone is posting that I am honored and thrilled to announce that I have been selected among the top 5 applicants who participated in the professional and most respected exam, which evaluates the skill and ability to operate fuel based vehicles. I cannot wait to see what the next chapter holds, and I cannot express my appreciation to the Ministry of Transportation, Google, NASA, and my neighbors who supported me during this challenging journey. All that is trying to convey is nothing but that he got the driving license. So, ladies and gentlemen, simplicity is the key. Message should be clear, concise, complete, correct, consistent, and timely, delivered in a respectful tone using the suitable format. Next topic is teamwork, very important for all of us in a complex world where individual brilliance is not enough to solve most problems. The image shows clearly what teamwork is not. So, what is teamwork? It is mentioned above. Teamwork is the ability to collaborate, share ideas, knowledge, support each other, and contribute to a common goal. Team may stand for together, everyone achieves more. So, how do we improve teamwork? Well, we have some guidelines about that. Number one, we need to establish clear goals and expectations. Number two, we need to encourage open communication. Number three, we need to motivate team members to work together. Number four, we need to foster trust. Number five, promote collaboration. Number six, we need to provide feedback. Number seven, we need to recognize achievements. Number eight, we need to lead by example. So, how do we foster trust and promote collaboration? To promote trust and collaboration, we need to respect differences among us. We need to acknowledge and appreciate the diverse perspectives and backgrounds of our team members. We need to have shared goals. We need to ensure that everyone understands the team's objective and is working towards the same outcome. We need to have trust and support. We need to build trust within the team by being reliable, supportive, and celebrating each other's success. We need to resolve our conflicts. We need to develop skills to address and resolve conflicts constructively, finding solutions that benefit the entire team. And time management, we need to be mindful of deadlines and manage our time effectively so as to contribute to the team's overall productivity. Now, we have to demonstrate team player qualities. What are they? What are these deep player qualities? We have to be solution focused. We need to focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on problems. We have to be proactive. We need to take initiative and anticipate potential challenges before they arise. We need to be adaptable. That means we need to adjust to changing circumstances and be willing to learn new things. We need to be accountable. We need to take responsibility for our actions and commitments. We need to be humble. We need to recognize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and we need to be open to learning from others. We need to be enthusiastic. We need to share our excitement and positive energy to motivate the team. Our next soft skill is adaptability. Again, very important for today's organizations. Adaptability is the ongoing process of cultivating a learning mindset and developing capabilities that enable individuals to seamlessly adjust and thrive in response to evolving circumstances, changing situations, and the diverse demands of dynamic environments. A lot of jargons, but basically it boils down to have open mindset for changes. So let's look at what are the important actions for an adaptable person as just now mentioned. So this starts with embrace change. We should be able to embrace change because change is the only constant in the world. We need to recognize that change is inevitable and we have to learn to adapt to it. We need to develop a positive attitude towards change and new situations. We need to show willingness to learn. We need to push ourselves outside our comfort zone. We need to seek out new experiences and challenges that push our boundaries. We have to try new things, even if we are initially uncomfortable, to build confidence and adapt. We need to actively solicit feedback from others on our performance and areas for improvement. We need to be open to constructive criticism and use it to refine our skills. Don't take feedback personally, view it as a valuable tool for growth. We need to embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and View setbacks as temporary and learn from them. Believe that our abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. We need to be flexible and willing to adjust our approach when needed. We need to develop strong communication and relationships. We need to practice actioning and effective communication to understand different perspectives. We need to build strong relationships with colleagues and peers to navigate changes effectively. We have to show positive attitude. We have to develop the ability to stay present in the moment and focus on the task at hand. Positive attitude can help us manage stress during challenging situations. Our next soft skill topic is customer focus. Customer is the purpose of business. Business without customer focus is a dying business. Understand their needs and expectations, solicit their feedback, show empathy and commitment to their concerns, and solve their problems effectively, efficiently, and timely. Use data and feedback to refine strategies and ensure they remain aligned with evolving customer needs. Customer focus is a business philosophy that keeps customers above all our business decisions. Customer focus has a simple motto: prioritize our customers and their needs. We should make all our products or services keeping customer preferences in mind. As per recent survey conducted by Salesforce, nearly 73% of consumers want other organizations to look into their requirements, but only 51% of them agree that companies are actually doing the same. Domain knowledge is part of understanding customer needs. Getting input and feedback, acting on the feedback, empowering team members through training and prioritizing customers' issues, showing empathy and courtesy, designing a positive experience for customers, getting relevant metrics, and acting on corrective measures under a customer focused leadership team are important elements to improve customer focus. Remember, customer centric companies are 60% more profitable than those that aren't. Finally, we covered problem solving skills, the most important skill for our growth and survival. We are from the testing field, so we start with a relevant problem. Our given problem here is to prepare a test strategy for an AI powered chatbot implementation project on the given e-commerce website by EOD today. So the definition: the problem solving skills refers to someone's ability to identify problems, analyze possible solutions, and think through the steps required to solve these problems. If we look at this definition of problem solving skill, we may comment, this is common sense. Why spend time on this? Friends, common sense is uncommon. So we need to touch the essentials so that beginners have a firm idea on how to analyze a problem, how to think about the solutions, how to select the best solution and implement it. Problem solving skills are required in all industries, in all positions, and there are multiple techniques, including Lean Six Sigma, that are used widely by large companies to solve their quality and efficiency problems. However, we'll restrict ourselves to only those elements and steps that are relevant to system testing. So there is a 7-step problem solving process as we are saying here. So let us go through each one of them. The first one is evaluate the problem. Next is gather information. Third is break the problem into parts. Fourth, identify various solutions and select the best solution. That is the fifth one. And then implement the solution, and finally evaluate and refine the solution. Next slide elaborates on problem solving steps. Let us look at the picture of this smart looking man standing on multiple ladders, willing to cross the wall but failing to do so. He has the tool but lacks the problem solving skill to apply the tool to a specific situation. He is clearly not a smart guy who can solve his problems. We must not be like him. As part of the problem evaluation step, we need to clarify few key points: test strategy, chatbot, AI powered chatbot, products offered on the given e-commerce site, and the timeline. A chatbot is a computer program designed to simulate conversation with human users, typically through text or voice interfaces. These programs use natural language processing and machine learning to understand user inputs and respond in a conversational manner. Chatbots can be simple, rule-based systems or more complex AI-powered models capable of learning and adapting to user behavior. Example, customer service bot. Unlike basic chatbots, AI chatbots learn from data and adapt over time using technologies like NLP and ML. It can understand user input, interpret intent, and provide relevant personalized responses in real time, much like a human would. What is a strict test strategy? It is a high level document with broad scope that outlines the general approach to testing for a project. Once we get conceptual clarity on the key points in our problem, we need to look at the organizational context while gathering information. As part of information collection, we learn what a chatbot is, what an AI powered chatbot is, how they differ, what products and services, apparels, grocery, insurance, etc., are offered on the given e commerce site, how the new chatbot looks, that is UI, how this new chatbot with scope of work, functionality, user experience is expected to assist customers. What may be the potential breakpoints? What are the elements of a test strategy? Is there any test strategy template existing as part of the QA process standardization, etc.? Apparel does not have an expiry date, but grocery has. Grocery may need quick delivery, but apparels may require standard delivery. So we need to identify the chatbot's purpose, key functionalities, and the target audience. At high level, we may identify various aspects to be tested, such as intent recognition, response accuracy, conversational flow, error handling, and integrations. So our test strategy for chatbot on e-commerce sites may differ based on the and services sold online as well as the chatbot functionality. Remember, testing is context dependent. Testing is context dependent, and this is one of the 7 principles of testing. Our next slide shows what information we may be needing to prepare our test strategy. Please look at the template of the test strategy here. When we need to document something, we always need to use an existing template or a standard template if not existing. We always start with objectives, scope, exclusions, and then outline test approach, test environments, test data, tools, test deliverables, entry and exit criteria, risk and mitigation, roles and responsibilities, etc. This structure provides us an understanding what we will need to document as part of this strategy. This is part of gathering information and breaking the problem into multiple manageable parts. Next slide shows various types of chatbot testing which can act as an input to the scope of test strategy. RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. Chatbots can be integrated to create powerful automation solutions. Chatbots can act as the front-end interface for RPA, handling user interactions and gathering information. RPA can then execute the automated task based on the information provided by the chatbot. Let us give an example. A customer asks the chatbot on order status. The chatbot uses NLP to understand the intent of order tracking and triggers an RPA bot to access the e-commerce platform system, that may be the order management system or shipping providers portal. The RPA bot logs into the system, navigates to the relevant order and extracts the tracking number and current status and sends it to the chatbot. The chatbot provides a customer-friendly response based on the information received. There are different types of chatbot testing. Number one is functional testing. It checks if the chatbot effectively delivers the functionality for which it is getting implemented. RPA testing, as mentioned just now, it checks if the chatbot effectively integrates with and automates business process. Usability testing, it assesses the chatbot's ease of use, intuitiveness, UI, and overall user experience through real user interactions. Security testing, it identifies vulnerabilities on the chatbot, focusing on data encryption, authentication, and protection against threats. A/B testing, it compares two chatbot versions to see which one performs better in user interactions. Exploratory testing, it involves exploring the chatbot's functionality without a formal plan and test cases, using creativity and domain knowledge to simulate normal as well as abnormal user scenarios and explore potential points of failure. Important thing is to break down the overall problem into various parts. In order to do that, we may have to do research and analysis, do deep thinking, review the project documents like requirement specifications, conduct a meeting with experts in the team, which is nothing but collaboration, and ask smart questions, that is list of queries after document study. This is to be continued. Well-tested chatbots can handle a large volume of queries effectively. This reduces the workload on human customer service agents and saves cost in the long run. So testing is important with a clear strategy, a plan, a suite of test cases, and a team of testers. Often a comprehensive testing strategy will incorporate multiple types of testing to cover all aspects of the chatbot's performance and user experience. There are multiple ways to achieve the desired goal, and our strategy needs to consider the cost-effective approach. As part of security testing, it may choose to cover only authentication, access control, error logging, audit trail, and leave the rest as part of the overall portal security testing, which it may include vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. Let me try to give some examples on security testing covered under the functional testing. Authentication, where users must be logged in to use it for order tracking, but for general information, login may not be needed. Access control, where one user's data must not be shared with that of another user. Error logging, where system information must not be disclosed. Audit trail, which must keep log of all interactions for audit purposes. It may choose manual testing like use case based testing, exploratory testing for normal and erroneous scenarios, and data driven automated testing for key functionalities and regression testing. Choosing a specific strategy requires identifying the best high level approach with overall guidance, which can be customized for a specific situation. Selection of the best approach among multiple alternatives involves cost, that is effort, benefit, and risk analysis. Our next slide will outline the cost benefit risk analysis carried out in the system testing, which can act as an input to the test approach part of the test strategy. There is a testing principle that states that exhaustive testing is impossible. Testing all combinations of inputs and preconditions is not feasible except for trivial cases. That is why we do risk-based testing, where we analyze risks and severities and prioritize riskier and more used features and functions. Our strategy must reflect it. Costs may include cost on infrastructure, tool, training, personnel, etc. Benefits may include reduced defect cost benefit due to early testing, another testing principle, then higher user satisfaction, reduced downtime, etc. Risks include technical risk, that is automation programming taking time longer than anticipated due to integrations and complex architecture, schedule risk, and cost or effort risk. By quantifying the potential costs, benefits, and risks of different testing approaches, we can optimize our testing efforts for maximum effectiveness and efficiency. For this, we identify key test scenarios and classify their priorities as high, medium, low in terms of planned usage, importance, etc. For each testing approach, scale, cycles, entry and exit criteria, we assess all associated costs and classify them as high, medium, low. Determine the potential benefits of each testing option and classify them as high, medium, low. Identify the potential risk associated with each testing option and classify them as high, medium, low. One sample test strategy for an AI chatbot is shared with you for your understanding. Once we put all these details using our best judgment, we consult an expert in the team to finalize weightages and priorities to various factors, and then we choose the strategy that provides the most value and aligns with the organization's goals. Finally, we document it and submit for approval to our manager. We present our rationale for the chosen strategy, seek feedback, and amend that to finalize the document. So, what soft skills were needed to solve our problems of preparation of the test strategy? We'll check it in the next slide. Now exemplify how the following skills like problem solving, task management, time management, research and analysis, communication and collaboration, customer focus, positive attitude, testing knowledge, documentation, etc. are used in this exercise. So let us go back to our problem of devising the test strategy for AI powered for the given e-commerce site. The exercise started by trying to solve the problem of preparing a test strategy, hence solution orientation, positive attitude and problem solving skills are definitely needed. Although a template is helpful, adapting it to a specific project situation with a given team is needed with some creative and critical thinking, relevant, practical, and useful. As with all important tasks, this needs to be planned, executed, and controlled for quality with expert feedback, approval, etc., and schedule control. So this requires time management as well as task management or micro level project management. The exercise needs research and analysis of the context and existing documents, positive attitude to overcome challenges, obstacles, setbacks, teamwork, effective communication among team, adequate knowledge of testing best practices, documentation skill to make the final test strategy document clear, correct, complete, and consistent. That is 5 C's of a document. Finally, tester is the representative of the customer or user. He is the internal voice of the customer. This strategy must have the objective of meeting user requirements. Absence of error fallacy is one of the 7 testing principles where meeting user needs is considered as essential. Without customer focus, any testing activity is useless. So when documenting it, the tester must put him in the shoes of the user and set the objectives accordingly. So hopefully now we all understood which soft skills are important and how to improve them. Now let us do some exercise on critical thinking, a very important part of solving skills. Give 5 uses of the following. Number one, net banking user ID. Number two, HRMS user ID. Number three, CRM user ID. This is your homework. With this, we wrap up our session on various important soft skills that are crucial for a successful career.